everyone. Welcome to this week's Cub Session Online. I'm Jess. Hi.
And I'm Simeon. Hello, everyone.
It's great to see you. I hope you're all doing well. So we've got a very exciting topic to talk about this week, which I'm sure many of you know a lot about and are very passionate about. And that is, we're going to talk about plastics and how we can reduce them, how we can recycle them, and their impact on the world. So we're going to start with a quick game. If you're watching this on catch up, then you might want to pause the video and go and see what different types of plastic you can find around your house. So during the game, we want you to look for soft plastics, so plastics that rustle, hard plastics that might tap, flexible plastics that bend, and different colours of plastics. So have you got clear plastics? Have you got coloured plastics? Have you got, maybe your computer's made of plastic right in front of you and it's all black or silver plastic. So see if you can collect 10 different types of plastic and then have a feel of them and see how versatile plastic is in our lives. Are any of the things that you've collected, could you swap them for a different material, or do they need to be plastic? For example, I could swap my water bottle for a metal one, which might be a better option for the environment, but that's still a better option than using a disposable water bottle. So there are lots of different things that plastics can do. So I'd love to see some pictures of the different plastics that you've collected from around your house.
All right, everyone. Welcome back from, picking the plastics and all of that in your house. I'm hoping there were not that much plastic materials in your house, but it's almost impossible for us not to have plastics around. And so we just have a quick talk around plastics. And, plastics, are they fantastic? That's what we're about to talk about. So a quick question. What do you think happens to fruits and food materials when we drop them off, or when they we throw them away in the gardens? What happens?
Well, I can see some of those apples are rotting, aren't they? Just back into the soil.
Yeah, so they decay. There's a heavy word we use for it. Some of you might be familiar with that word, biodegrade. What it simply means is
biodegradable. I've heard of that.
Yeah, so it just breaks down. That's what we're talking about. And these plants use them up, and then there's kind of like a circle. Plants use them up, and then we eat the plants and then kind of throw them away. And beautiful. But with plastics, what happens? Not as biodegradable. They're not that kind. So we drop them off, or they fall off, and then they're just there forever, like forever. And that's where the problem is. They don't just stay there forever. They get washed into this beautiful environment. And I'm sure a number of us would have seen this beauty before. There's this sea life here in Birmingham. I don't know how many of you have visited that place. You see these beautiful creatures. And so when these plastics drop, what do? They get washed into the sea. And like you see, they break down into very tiny particles that are referred to as microplastics. Micro basically means they are small plastic particles. And because they are colorful and they look beautiful and they look very much like edible things, these innocent friends of ours, fish, crabs, prawns, and all these little things in the sea, they eat them. And when that happens, they get stuck in their, guts, and sometimes they die as a result of that plastics getting stuck in their guts. And it doesn't just end with that. When these plastics are manufactured or when they are made in the industries, they add certain things like color that gives them those beautiful colors. They add things that make them, flexible, called those plasticizers, and all those chemicals that they add to these plastics when they make them. Now, these are some other reasons why the plastics are not so fantastic. These chemicals are added to plastics, and when these fishes and all these other animals eat them, they sometimes end up harming the animals. And it doesn't just end with it harming the animals. As you can see, the animals get trapped in these things. You can see that crab in that plastic cup. You can see the innocent fish in that plastic glove. You can see these turtles stuck in the whole, net and everything. You can even see that
such sad pictures, aren't they?
Yeah, sad pictures. And I would just like you to look at the pictures and think which one breaks your heart the most, not to make you feel sad, but just to make you know that these things that we do is not so nice to our little friends. Yeah. Okay. Let me not allow you to feel too sad. So let's quickly move on from there. And it is said in English, what goes around, they say, come around. So we drop these plastics in the sea and then they get washed into the sea. Somehow we wash our clothing materials with the washing machine. It goes through the sewage line. Somehow it ends up in the ocean. This fish eat the plastics. And when we go fishing, we catch fish that is more or less loaded with plastic. And we eat this fish. And what do? We end up eating the plastics that we throw away. So it's not so much, it's not just our little friends or these lower animals that get um, problems from plastics. It ends up coming back to us. And so, more reason why we should take it seriously. And so, what can we do? Of course, many things we can do. The first is we can choose to reduce the use of plastics. And by reduce, we mean if you can do without plastics, which, to be honest, I'm not saying is easy. But I mean, if you think, you can always replace plastics with other things. Yeah. So that's what we mean by reduce. Whenever you can, avoid plastics. Second thing you can do is to recycle. So never throw away plastics when you use them. Make sure you drop them in the recycle bin so that they can be recycled. And if you see an adult trying to throw them away, don't be shy to call the adults to others. Say, no, let's recycle this. And then we can reuse plastics. So get a plastic bag from Asda, from Sainsbury, from Tesco. Don't just use it once. Keep it. And next time when you're going back, make sure you use it. And again, don't be shy. Tell mommy or daddy if they decide to throw it away, we can reuse that. Okay? And so, in that spirit, we are going to be reusing some of the very old plastic carrier bags we have in the house, something like this. So if you have one, I will maybe pause the video and just quickly go get one of these plastic bags. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make some beautiful flowers from these carrier bags. And luckily, it's Mother's Week, Mother's Day, around the corner. So those beautiful flowers can be given to our moms, and I'm sure they will appreciate them. So let's get into it. Yeah. All right. So a few things we need for the craft. First, you need a plastic carrier bag, like I said earlier. So you could pause the video and go get one. If you don't have anyone in your house, I wouldn't blame you for that because we should be reducing them anyway. So, two, you should get a scissors. Yep, if you have one. Nice one, Jess. Also, we need a short pencil. And I'm sure you'll be wondering what we need a short pencil for, but don't worry. In a few minutes, you will know. Then you need a longer pencil. So this could do, or a longer pen, or a stick, or a straw, anything can do. Then you need a sellotape. Good. So if you have all of those, then we can start. So the first thing is you pick your plastic carrier bag and get the short pencil and try to stick it in through one of the sides. So if you stick it in and then just hold it this way. So if you see that, so I have my pencil inside. And what we are going to try to do is to try to cut just above the pencil. So hold the pencil inside and try to cut. So you see that?
Yeah, we don't need to push the pencil through, do we? Just use it as a measuring tool.
Yeah, just like a measuring tool. We don't need to push it through. And in case you're not able to find a pencil, Jess, I think we can actually use a finger. What do you think?
You could definitely use a finger as long as you're careful not to cut it at the other end.
To cut yeah. So you could actually, okay, Jess, you want to show them that?
So if you stick your finger in and then grab the plastic and slide your finger out and just cut at the end of your hand.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so basically all we're trying to do is to cut at this end. So I'll just pick my scissors quickly. And careful, make sure you don't cut your hand. This is not a hand cutting craft, it's a flower making craft. Yep, so I have this. So this is one. Now I'll repeat the same thing again because I want to have 2 flowers inside. So you could do as many as you can, but one would still do. So what I'll do at this point is I'll stick this in again, just the same way I did the first one. And I'll hold that in place. Yep, you see, the same thing. And then I'll cut again, careful again with your hand.
And you could use a different color, couldn't you, for the second layer of plastic if you had different colored carrier bags. The orange looks really good as flowers, doesn't it?
Yeah. So here I am, I've got just 2. And because Jess has mentioned that, maybe I should just add a green layer to that. Make it 3. So if I add one more layer, this time green. So I could have this. So that's the third one. And if I cut at this point, so I've got 3 layers now. And so if you hold this up, the next thing is we're going to try to see how we could pass the pencil through it. Now this I know is going to be a bit difficult for you. For me, I could push it through, but I don't expect you to be able to do that. So what we'll do is with the pencil still trying to stick through, we just pick our scissors and try to make a very small cut here. Yep, so you see that? So this way, I can then pass my pencil through this point. So I'm going to pull out this short pencil and pick my long pencil and pass it through this point and force it through so it comes out this way. Okay.
Very clever. Yeah, that worked really well.
Yeah, so that's my flower almost done.
Wow, that looks amazing. Mine don't look quite as pretty. They were different kinds of bags. Your orange is very bright.
I think I like yours. It looks really good.
It's a bit more of a pom-pom, I think.
Yeah, it looks good. So with this, we're almost done. But just so we make sure it's firm and it doesn't come falling apart after one day, you don't want to give a flower to your mom and then it goes flying around. So you get a sellotape this way and just try to wrap your sellotape around just to hold it firm. Again, so your flower doesn't start flying around in front of your mom. You don't want that. So I'll just wrap this around and round. And so here you go.
That looks really good.
With a Mother's Day flower. Ooh.
So don't forget to reuse your bags as many times as you can, but when they get so tatty and maybe they start getting holes in, if you can't replace them, then here's something that you can do to upcycle them, isn't it, really?
Yeah, yeah. So you could have several of these, and then you can also make a plastic flower vase. So you have something like that, and you put the flowers inside. So you have a complete flower vase with plastic flowers.
Brilliant recycling, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah. So that's that. I hope you guys have fun doing this.
Right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed your craft. So hopefully below this video, you can see the links to the YouTube videos to spend some time chilling out and doing some mindfulness. So do find yourself a comfy place and jump onto the mindfulness video for a bit of calm. And then once you're all calm, click on the other link for this week's dance party. We'd love to see pictures of you enjoying yourselves because we really love to bop along to those. So I hope you've enjoyed today's session and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. See you next week.